everyone. Hello, everyone. I think we are now streaming. Took us a second because I forgot to hit the button, of course. So I'm just going to move something over a little bit. All right. I'm Jackie Green from Behind the Design, and Behind the Design is a company that helps small businesses grow through different revenue strategies, including education, training. We offer marketing, AI consulting. So how can we grow your business? And so today, what we're going to talk about is, oops, lost my notes. We're going to talk about measuring, taking the guesswork out of measuring your marketing. So often we have this challenge. So often we have a challenge with able to measure our marketing and understand what our marketing is doing for us. And so I'm going to share with you today is taking that guesswork out because at the end of the day, you're as a CEO, I want to know what is working and what has produced actual customers. I mean, that's really all I want to know as a CEO. Is this actually generating revenue? Now, as a marketing person and as somebody who's very much loves to try new things, I want to look at, okay, what is it that we're trying? What can we try? How do we reach people? Things change constantly. Algorithms change. How do I know what's actually really working and what's not working? How do I know what I should double down on and what I shouldn't double down on? And so that's kind of what we're going to talk about today. And I'm going to share with you what we do in our realm and why this is so important with our decisions. In a previous video, a live that I did early in January, I really talked about how we've changed our social media strategy this year. And a lot of that was based on the data that we were collecting. And we had to actually dig into it. Now, the nice thing is AI can actually help you with digging into some of that and understanding, okay, what's working and what's not working, where it used to be you didn't have that. But you need to, at the minimum, be tracking things month over month. And so that's what I'm going to show you today. And we make decisions based on that. So let me share my screen with you. And I'll just show you what we are tracking and how that's changed. So these are our stats from last year. So we looked at what were we at coming into 2024. So into 2023, what did we look like? We have our website on Kajabi. And so we look at both Kajabi stats, which are not very thorough, and we look at the Google Analytics. We looked at our social media metrics for all the different platforms that we were using. And those were our primary things that we wanted to focus on. Now, I also added growth rate factors. So at the beginning of the year, I did planning. So I wanted to grow our total contacts on our website by 5%, which is why you see 105%. And so I wanted to see what that looked like. And so I would set a goal. And then what do we actually do? I'd plug that number in. And then I would look at what our growth rate is. So over time, I could see what did we do that month to really impact. Now, for us, looking at our marketing, we want to make sure that we send people back into our website. We want to capture their contact information. We want them to sign up for one of our lead magnets. That is our primary focus. Because once we get them into our system, then we can actually service them by creating email sequences and giving them more value and continuing to be top of mind. Where in social media, I don't have that control over that. And I'll give you a perfect example. Last year, October 1st, we were hacked and we lost everything on Facebook. Facebook has gone away. We can't even set up a new account right now. We're still being punished by whatever the hackers did, which I don't even know what they did, but we're being punished. And so my whole community of people that I had connected with, that we were actually starting to build this big community within groups, is now gone. So all those people are gone. And if I didn't actually send them to my website and offer them something and have grab their, name and email and the minimum, then I have no relationship with them anymore because they're just gone. I don't own that. As algorithms change in social media, it becomes really apparent that all of a sudden what worked last month and what's working today could be completely different, and you don't know why that's happening. And so that's why it's so important for us to, as marketing people, to be sure that we're bringing them back into our playing field, back into our website. And that continues to have website be really important to this day. And so if you think, okay, well, my website's really not that important, I need to be spending time on social, that's not the case because unfortunately you can't control what they're doing. You can only control what you're doing. So how do we track that and what are we looking at? How many opt-ins are we getting? How many people are subscribing? Those are really important stats. So as we moved into 2025, we started looking at things differently. Let me share again. We started to look at and say, okay, what are the most important things that we really want to know? At the end of the day, I want to know how many new customers I have and how much total income that was generated. That's from my SEO side, right? I want to know this information. And so we started looking at it. Okay, I still needed to look at Kajabi and I still need to look at the Google stats, Google Analytics, and see what's happening. Now, to be perfectly honest, I am not using Google Analytics to the depth of what you can use it, but I am able to pull some stats. I need to do a better job, to be perfectly honest with you. And then for us, because we changed our social media strategy, we no longer could use Facebook. So that ended up becoming a moot point. We're still grounded. I checked earlier this week and they're still punishing us for something that we did not do. And so it's very interesting and frustrating. And so this year going into this, we really looked at what are those channels that we really did do well last year on. And LinkedIn was one of the biggest channels that we really had an impact on. YouTube, huge opportunity because remember, YouTube is a search engine. It's not necessarily a social platform, even though it kind of gets mixed up in there. And the other one we wanted to continue was Pinterest. So we stopped focusing on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook was out. We still had Instagram, but we weren't getting the same traction. And I talk about that in a different video of why and how the algorithm has changed, and it changed for us as well. And so we weren't really seeing those response. So knowing that, I could really focus the efforts that I wanted to create this year and know. And so again, I use a growth factor and then I put that growth factor in here so that if I look at, let's say, personal followers on LinkedIn, we're at 3640 at the end of last year. And this year or this month, we wanted to be at 3,786. I think we're right around 3,700, but let me just plug in a number for you. And so you can see it'll probably end up being 3,800. And you can see then I have the growth of that from the 3640, say I got 3,700, will be 1.62, where I really wanted that 4% growth. It gives me that opportunity to really look at it. Okay, what do we do right and what do we do wrong? Like what was working and what wasn't working. Now we've actually grown bigger than that, but I'm going to do a video here in a few weeks about what we're doing on LinkedIn differently. So I'm going to delete that so I don't forget to delete it. But I add all those in there and add the formulas so that I can see where we're at every month at the end of the month. And I pull these numbers. And so that's a really important way to track, okay, what is working and what's not working. The other thing that you can track are things like lead magnets. On our website, we have lead magnets. Let me go to our website real quick and I can show you. If you don't have a lead magnet, you're really missing out because that's the opportunity for someone to sign in. They may come to your website and be like, well, I'm not really ready to buy today. But with the lead magnet, you can capture their information and you can give them an opportunity to really get to know who you are. So on our website, we offer lead magnets. We have offers just for our services, but we offer things that are free. These are resources we've designed for to help our clients. And so you can see in here we have 25 simple ways for you to drive more website traffic. 50 blog posts, there's actually 150 topics. A guide to building profitable sales funnels. Now those three, and we have other lead magnets, but I took a look at for January what my numbers were. What were the lead magnets that we're pulling the most from? Now, we're an education company when it comes down to it. We really like to educate and share that knowledge. So we have more than one lead magnet. But right now, I can guarantee as I go through the months, I'm going to look at these and say, okay, what did we actually pull? How many people signed up for one? How many people signed up for another? How many people? And that's how I determine who's going to be on the top of those three top ones. Now I can go into our resource page and see on our resource page more lead magnets, but that's how I can tell. So if I didn't track that information and know what was going on, then I wouldn't be able to make those decisions that were more around strategy versus just guessing and understanding that. So, what key performance indicators should you be tracking? In the day, as I mentioned, as the CEO, I want to know that the marketing's working, the customers, and what revenue that we're bringing in. But beyond that, what else should I be determining? So here are some of the things that you could be tracking that might be important to your business. The first one is awareness metrics. Because remember, not everybody's going to take action. And so we have to continuously be out there in front of people to build that brand so that people know who we are and what we have to offer. And so that's things like the reach. How many people are we reaching with a post? How many people are we reaching with a video? These live videos that I've been doing once a week, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. This is, I think, my third one. Why am I doing that? Well, it's very simple. I'm tracking to see, yes, you know, how many people are actually live with me and are asking questions versus how many people are watching it after the fact. And we're seeing this huge uptake of people watching it after the fact. And then we use that content on our website. We post that content, well, it's live on YouTube as well. So YouTube and LinkedIn, but we're constantly using that content for additional information. That's really important. So what is that reach? How many people are we reaching? What are the impressions that we're getting? So those are two really important criteria of understanding that awareness metrics. And you really have to balance between awareness, engagement, conversion, right? So when we talk about engagement, what is the website traffic that we're getting? How long are they staying on the site? How long, how many email? What's the open rate? And I don't just look at open rate because a lot of email providers will show it opened. You're looking at how many people reacted. The reacting time is more important. How many click through? How many actually clicked on a link and went into that email and said, okay, I want to read more about this. That's really the number that you're looking for is how many are reaching. And so if you have a problem with people not clicking in, then you really can then go back and look at what is that content that I'm putting out there? What content out of all the emails I did on this subject, what kind of resonated? And you can start seeing, what's working and what's not working. The other thing is looking at your engagement metrics as far as social media. In social media, how many people are engaging with you? It is critical, especially on Instagram and Facebook, that you get your engagement rate up. Because what happens is their Instagram, Facebook, they'll put your post will go out and say you have 1,000 followers. Only 50 people will see that post. Even though you have 1,000 followers, not all of them see it. And so only 50 do. And depending on those 50, if those 50 engage with that content, they make a comment, they liked it, they forwarded it, they shared it, they saved it, whatever, then that tells the algorithm, oh, this must be interesting. Let's show it to 50 more people. And then it keeps going with that. So your engagement rate has to be a really important KPI if you have a big social marketing effort going on. So also engagement rate. YouTube, I mentioned that earlier, is watch time is huge there because they actually judge you based on the watch time, not the number of people who actually click the video. But if someone clicks the video and they're in it for 15 seconds and say, this isn't for me, and click off, then there's a watch time problem. You're not hooking them into that video early on. And these are key things that you can think of and go, okay, why are they not watching it? What is the challenge there? What can we do differently? And so that's why it's so important to measure. The next one is your conversion. Based on your web traffic, how many people are actually completing the form to convert into and grab whatever you're giving away for free? How many do that? Versus how many actually sign up for a consultation or contact us type form. And so you want to look at what that conversion ratio look like. What we do a lot of times is we give you a lead magnet and then we have an email sequence that goes out. And eventually what we're wanting you to do is drive into a consultation with me where we're talking about, whether it be your marketing or whether it be AI, and really kind of dig into that one-on-one meeting because that's really where selling begins is one-on-one, not necessarily through a website. Because you'll notice our products aren't actually on there because every client of ours is different. And so, we talk about the products and what services we offer, but we don't give pricing. You can't just order it. And so it's really important to get them into a one-on-one situation. Well, how many are converting based on that email sequence? I want to know how many consultations based on that are we actually seeing? And then even of the sales conversations I'm having, how many people are there are actually purchasing from us and what are they purchasing? All these metrics are so important for the entire process, for that whole roadmap of your marketing and understanding what's working and what isn't working and what you need to spend more time in. And so when we look at the conversion metrics, we want to look at that cost per acquisition, that leads, what ends up in sales. Now, there's also retention metrics that may be important for your business, especially if you have products that you're selling over and over and over. Then you want to know what is the lifetime value of that customer and what does that look like? Remember, retaining a customer is a lot less expensive than having to get new clients. So what are you offering to keep those people engaged within your site and within your business? And then you might have specific metrics that you want to pull based on a campaign and how that campaign is performing. This also helps you with predicting what that future looks like. And you can see as you measure, okay, is this within standards? Is this what other companies are really experiencing? Are we seeing an uptake, a downtake? Are we concerned here? And so it just gives you a lot of data and information that's important. Guess what? There are ChatGPT can help you with all that stuff as well. So there are other tools out there AI tools that help you analyze that data as well. But that's how you become a really good marketer, is really understanding the data points, what you're measuring, why you're measuring it, and how that changes your strategy. Now, remember, we always want to kind of set smart goals. And so as you can see within what I had created earlier, I had put what my growth rate was. Okay, I'm at this point at the end of the year, month over month over month, what's that growth period? So I establish SMART goals, which of course is very specific. I'm measuring those. They have to be achievable. I'm not going to put in there that I want to grow 50% month over month. That wouldn't be realistic. A 4% growth based on the strategies we're working on, make them be completely realistic. We're really upped some of our game on what we are doing related to marketing on different platforms. So we may see even a higher intake next year. Then we want to make sure we're using the tools to track. So make sure we have Google Analytics hooked up, and we want to make sure that we're looking at social media insights, looking at our CRM plan. For CRM, we use Go Level or Go High Level. And, we are able to put all that in there and really understand what our conversion rates are. The other part of that is we want to make sure that with those SMART goals that we're putting a time limit on it. For our tracking, we do it every month. We want to know what's going on month to month. But even within campaigns, we'll look as the different emails go out or as different things happen. We want to know what's going on. So in this talk, which we're wrapping up here in just a couple minutes, we talked about the key takeaways were why measuring is important, what you should measure, how you take those measurements and develop your strategy or change your strategy, determine how you make adjustments for better marketing effectiveness. And we talked about analyzing that and setting those goals accordingly so that you are growing at the right level. So here's what I want you to do. If you haven't already and you have some questions around this, I want you to go out to our website and you can set up a consultation with me. We will, on YouTube, we can add the details and we can kind of talk through some of these things. We do a lot of strategy work, branding work with clients to determine, okay, what is your brand? What is that strategy you're going after? And then what are those metrics? And so if you're really struggling in this area, set up a time with me. It's completely free, 30 minutes. We'll hang out together and see if I can give you a couple tips and solutions. Now, I hope you found this helpful. I will add those links into the description on YouTube. Don't think I can do it on LinkedIn, but you definitely can go to our website, which is behindthedesignco.com. And I will talk to you next week. Let me tell you what we're going to be talking about next week. I always should be better planned on what. This is where I always get a moment. I believe it's AI related. Um, all right, next week we're going to be talking. Okay. Okay. February 4th, the 1st, we're going to be talking about navigating social media and going more in depth on why you need both organic and paid strategies to be successful on social media today. Unfortunately, things change on social media and it's just not enough to really be doing only organic. You do need a good mix of the two. And so we're going to kind of talk about some of the strategies that work there and how to really utilize that for your business. So be sure to join me on February 4th at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. I always have to say that. And I will see you next week. Thanks for joining.